Hello. It is 2 hours past time I usually stream. It is 6. Some things was going on. I don't have recording tonight with Tyro, Atheist, KG, and Cassie. So I decided to just take the rest of the day to get stuff done. Move streaming back to nighttime and deal with it that way. So we're here, and I got a wild rogue that just came in. What's up, rogue?
Good evening, everybody. I am Rogue. I am the most beautiful person in the world, and I am here yet again.
Yes, you are.
As normal. So, how is Sparky and the Sparky?
Sparky is still trying to work shit out.
Sparky's always going to be able to work something out. He knows he can do it.
Oh, I know I can do it. It's just the fact of having a set plan is good and all, but when you're caught flat-footed before you can initiate that plan to do anything with it, it kind of puts you into a bind.
Yeah, no. I mean that's where you get to learn how good of an adult you are, and whether you can figure it out for yourself. But
well, I mean,
we have faith in you. We have faith in you. So there is that.
Oh, I got faith in myself. I know I'm gonna get it figured out. It's just gotta be put to let's just say it like this: a little skimp until Friday.
You know what it is? It is what it is. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to tighten up your belt. I get it. We've all been there. At least some of us have. I don't know about anybody else for the most part, especially the ones who are about to be considered adults.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when you get to that level of adulthood, you end up having a lot of problems.
Well, I wouldn't say problems. Just things come up out of the woodwork that one was not expecting, and two, slight miscalculations can throw a big wrench into the works of anything.
That's usually how it works. But anyways, so outside of that, you're getting past all that, and eventually you'll figure it out. And again, like I said, we have faith in you. I mean, so outside of that, what have you been doing?
Yard work.
Yard work?
Yard work.
Did you create a TP finally? I mean, seriously.
Aren't
you people notorious for creating TPs and that?
Well, I've built a TP or two in my life, but
there you go. See,
well, I wasn't building a TP. I was building a flower bed for Captain.
Oh, a flower bed. Ooh, with a lot of pansies, hopefully, because Rogue likes pansies.
I just set up the bed and some mulch in it. It's kind of thrown together. I'm putting it in the main chat right now. But
okay. I was going to ask if it's like above or below, but I'm going to see
it's above.
Eventually.
It's a temporary setup. I'm going to do something eventually one of these days that's a little bit more permanent, but materials and shit like that, and figure out a place, do some landscaping stuff here and there. It's just better to set something up temporarily.
Yeah,
so it's something I bought a bunch of cement blocks last year.
I can see that.
Yeah, I bought these last year. We got set up last year, but it was so late in the season, we just left them on the back patio. Yep. And then this year, after getting the lawn tamed, finally able to mow after about a week and a half because it just kept fucking raining.
Yeah, that's a glorious thing about good weather.
Yeah. So I finally found a place outside. She liked it, set it up, put the first slab of bricks down, put some I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of like a twop almost, but it's used for
it helps with
put down the bottom to kind of help retain the moisture and stuff like that. First level is going to be grass clippings.
Yeah.
So there's grass clippings about 1 block high, and then from there she's gonna get a mixture of potting soil and dirt and some other things and fill the other 2 blocks up. She's probably gonna go a block and a half up, and then she can do with it whatever she wants.
Nice.
She tried doing stuff like that in the ground with like stakes and those temporary flower posts and all that good stuff, but the way they were, it's like overgrown with reeds.
Yeah, they
couldn't take care of it. Chance kept getting into it, so it's like, let me build this up like this. I can mow and reed it around it. I don't have to worry about tearing anything up.
Correct.
I
sent you something to DM. You mean one of a?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's that's pretty neat.
It's from what I understand, it's fairly cheap and it is corrugated metal. It's something down in the future that you might want to consider, but
well, it's pretty much the same thing I've got set up right now, and I'm probably gonna do this temporary later on. I just don't have the ground walking equipment to do it the way I want.
No. I would say just kind of take a boo and see exactly how he did it, because I don't think he used a lot of ground walking equipment.
Yeah,
the last time I looked, so because again, Roke has his own family, and that has their own little garden that we try to keep everything above ground. Simply because of the factor that we got a lot of trees in the area, and they like to absorb a lot of nutrients. So if you plant anything in the ground, chances of it germinating very low.
Yeah, that's what we run into here with. That's why I set this thing up the way it does. Now, I do have a flower bed out front, and it's not a bad looking flower bed, and I want to expand on it and make it look better, but they just got rocks out there as the border, and they're the same type of rocks that were bordering my driveway, just a lot smaller. And I'm going to do something with it soon. I don't know when. Whenever I bought the house, they did some landscaping. They put some more trips down. It looked nice for summer, and now it's just overgrown with reeds. And what I'm going to do is get some pavers and basically make an actual border that's easier to mow around and reed eat around instead of just rocks. Probably make the pavers 2 steps high. Stepman Squatch.
I was going to say the 2 steps Squatch, but was not but still. Anyway.
But I'm gonna make them 2 steps high, and what I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna extend it out past the house and to the fence line, because I've got a fence that probably goes about 45 foot from the house to the other neighbors, and we have an issue with rainwater in the backyard. So the backyard, I've got a hill that the shed is on. So whenever it rains, all the water kind of goes down there, but it goes underneath the fence and out towards the front, and then what ends up happening afterwards is nothing right there grows.
Yeah, it's because it's all,
it washes away. The water gets too saturated. There's a bunch of trees there, so it's always fighting for nutrients and water and stuff like that for trees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up those pavers along there, and basically just, instead of using dirt or anything like that, dig down into the ground and do a mixture of like sand and dirt, sand and rocks, and then I don't have to worry about putting mulch down every year. It's just rocks, and then go around the plants on the front.
Yeah.
That
Speaking
way
of mulch, we have a lad.
What's up, lad?
What's up?
I caught a portion of your stream the other night.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He sounds excited that you got a portion of his stream.
Well, who was it? It was you, Gallagher, Slayer Raven, and the meme professor talking about school shootings, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got about maybe 10 minutes in, and then my mind just kind of went, oh, there's something else.
Yeah, I was doing walk around the house, drinking beer, and it got to the point I was just drinking more beer than doing walk around the house. It's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna continue drinking beer.
So basically, a typical American male. Got it.
Pretty much.
Well, it was actually started off the school. It was funny. So we were supposed to have, like, 3 different topics, and we ended up somehow discussing the first 3 like all at once in a single topic.
Yeah.
Which was weird, but whatever.
I mean, as long as you got your messaging through and everything was covered, I think that's good.
And there was minor arguing over certain things, which was annoying the piss out of me. Because
that normally does.
Well, Gallagher, like, his definition of school shooting, like, made me want to fucking stab myself in the temple with a harpoon.
The whole arguing over terms. We put this
kind of went that way. I mean, that's something I picked up within the first 5 minutes of the actual conversation. The moment that they tried to define something, it's like, well, now you're walking yourself onto landmines. Congratulations.
Well, I mean, I was defining it as it was defined in one of the better articles I've read on this subject. And Gallagher defined it as if there was a gun at a school and someone fired it, it is a school shooting. And I'm like, holy fuck, no.
Oh, wow. Because, again, as I mentioned it to you behind the scenes in the DMs and that, because you could add that to anything, including anything that's considered school property, that'd be the school bus. So if somebody brings a gun on the bus and starts shooting, technically it's a school shooting.
And they actually do that. Which is the sad part.
I know. Yeah. It's like, is it really though? And I showcased a different, like the Britannica version of their statement, which I kind of agree up to a certain point.
Time out. Did I hear that right? Just bringing a gun to school?
Yeah. And shooting it. So the thing is like, instead of me arguing with him and being like, no, that's stupid, I'm like, okay, well, what about this? Which was like, well, what about suicides? Does that count? He's like, well, no. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, well, what if it was an accidental discharge? Because it wasn't unusual for, when I was going to school, for people on hunting season to bring their rifles in the back of the trucks and shit. Yeah, and then an accidental discharge could have happened. Is that a school shooting? Well, no. I'm like, okay, well, your definition sucks.
It does, because it's too broad. I mean, usually, normally... Narrow
it down to a scope of, somebody brings a gun to school to solicit the harm of others at that school, whether it be teachers or students.
Yeah, no, that's typically it's students, but sometimes it will be a faculty member. It's very rare that actually happens, but it does. And unfortunately, in some cases, they don't classify that as a school shooting.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of people want to say it's guns. No, it's not guns. It's a combination of one, parenting, and 2, the teachers. It kind of goes down from those 2 aspects. It's not just the students themselves.
Oh, I brought up like a ton of different factors that could be involved, but what I got mad about was whenever people would say that, oh, it's just mental illness. And I hate that because, like, although that very well may be the case in a lot of cases, it's used dismissively.
What definition are you going to use for mental illness?
Oh, dude, I'm that's not even me.
I know, like, but that would be my question to them, because there's a lot of things you can factor in as a mental illness that's not a mental illness.
Well, usually it's kind of they use it as like a broad brush.
Yeah,
oh, wow, well, a normal person wouldn't do that, so therefore must be mentally ill. And then just dump the entire topic and throw it away. And then blame the mental health community for something that they have nothing to do with. Right? Yeah, it's usually blame shifting.
It is. Yeah. Basically, it's moving the goalpost, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And yeah, Vlad is correct. It is a very big, broad health disorder. It's the same.
I know.
It's got the same level of conditioning as you would with diabetes and heart disease. There's many different causal factors that could create those issues, and
let's put it like this, because this is actually something that happened back in my school. No one got hurt. It wasn't a school shooting or anything like that, but it was one of those. It was a show and tell. I believe I was in like 6th grade, and one of the kids, they lived on a farm and all that good stuff. So I mean, they had a couple different guns and stuff like that. So they were doing show and tell, and the kid, brought down for a show and tell a 45 Colt revolver. I mean, it was old, and it was loaded. Nobody got hurt. The gun didn't get discharged or anything like that. But it is one of those situations of he wasn't mentally ill. It's like, this is cool. It's a piece of history. It looks cool. My dad showed me this. He loves this. He says this is going to me whenever he dies. It's this, he told, he could tell you everything about it and stuff like that, but, oh my God, he brought a gun to school. He's crazy. No. There's a lot of factors to that thing. And actually, more likely than not, about 60% of, shit that does happen is because of that. Well, hey, look at this thing I got. It's cool, isn't it?
Well, here's the biggest problem with the school shooters, and there's a lot of red flags that are presented, and no one actually picks up on it very quickly.
The school and the parents don't. Yeah, the school and the parents don't.
No. It's ignored. It's ignored until something of this caliber happens.
What was it? Was it the Michigan? Was it? I can't remember the one that was up in Michigan. The parents bought the son a gun, and they posted right about all over social media and stuff like that. Yeah, and a couple weeks after that, the kid brought the gun to school, the counselors, the student counselors, the principals, and the teachers noticed that the kid was acting weird and stuff like that. He brought this gun to school that day, and the counselors are like, "Well, we think you need to take your son home." And the parents are like, "No, I think we need to have him stay." Well, nobody knew he had the gun. The entire time. They brought him in for red flags, but they didn't inspect his backpack. They didn't force him home. They left it up to the parent. It's like, and then afterwards they get the kid, and then they get the parents, and they're charging the parents with the exact same thing as the kid. And it's like, you need to do the same thing to the school counselor, the principal, the teacher, because they're just as responsible for, the parents didn't take the kid out of school and they didn't notice this. Neither did the principal, the teacher, and the school counselor. Right. And they had the absolute authority over that kid when they're at school. They wanted to say, "No, you're going home." The parents have no say over it. So it's like stuff like that. That's what usually ends up happening.
Well, if you kind of go back to your greatest out of your 90s shooters, it's Columbine kids. So both of them have been, again, this kind of goes back onto some pieces of information that we have that's kind of guaranteed. The rest is kind of claimed, but they were involved in some degree of being bullied, and so turn around is fair play in their mind. Yes, it's kind of a psychological kind of questionable to go down that road, but unfortunately for a lot of the school shootings or school shooters, it's usually a case of revenge.
It's usually a case of revenge or trying to get back at someone, because there have been cases of the bully doing that same thing.
Yes, of course. But like I said, revenge is usually the core factor. So
yeah.
I made a lot of points in there. Like, I went on this whole spiel about like how one of the major contributors when it comes to the bullying end of that is that the zero tolerance policies that schools enforce is a really big problem, because like if you talk back to a bully and then he beats the living fuck out of you and you don't even lay a hand on that person, you're both punished.
Yes.
So that it actually, if anything, empowers the bully to keep bullying, because he knows that no matter what happens, you're in just as much shit as he is. And so it's one of these things where you have that happen, then the kid goes home, and now the kid is in trouble because the parents weren't fucking there, and maybe they don't believe him, or maybe other staff are saying that it was 50-50. And so the parents are pissed off because their kid is fighting, because society today has a bunch of stupid fucking previous hippie parents that think the children should be these, like, high intellectual, big brain, peace loving faggots. That will never happen. And on top of that, learning self-defense is extremely frowned upon in most of society. So, like, ultimately, you have all these factors culminating in this one kid, and you know what? It's a miracle that more school shootings.
Max is coming in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, there should be more.
So, well, at the standard rate, yes, you'd think there'd be more, but unfortunately, there isn't. So, I mean. It's just a weird situation.
And there's not that many in the first place.
No, and it's rare, but again, coming back down to what we had that discussion behind the scenes, it is how you define it and what you put into that those statistics. And unfortunately, for you guys in the States, you define it in a very kind of broad way where anybody could be considered a school shooter.
Well, it's not the state. So the problem is there's a
your FBI has, but again, your FBI has given a certain broad scope of things, so they can throw everybody into that bucket.
Yes. But to be fair as well, though, that's within the best interests of law enforcement.
No,
because they want the broadest fucking thing possible, so they can enforce whatever, right? But the problem is the media takes it a step further. I will agree. I agree though that Britannica was a good middle ground between the two extremes. Like, I can completely concede that, although I still somewhat disagree with their definition because it was still somewhat broad with the use of, like, typically.
And usually I kind of agree with that particular term as well, even though I kind of viewed it a little too far, kind of in some cases left leaning, but for at least some of the stipulations up in front, it makes more sense.
Yeah, it's not as insanely fucking stupid like CNN. Like, oh my god.
I know. But again, that's the one thing I kind of like about Britannica before they became a little bit more, because they used to be centralized, and then they kind of been swinging more and more to the left as time has gone on. But unlike, say, something like Wikipedia, which is very, very extreme left, so their definition of school shooting, wow, it's just as broad as the guy that decided to define what he thought school shooting was. If somebody's just firing their gun inside the school grounds, or at least on school property.
I just don't think I don't think Columbine should have ever been listed as a school shooting, for one really good reason. They had bombs. Like, the moment you start dragging bombs into the equation,
that's like a terroristic attack.
That was a terroristic attack. That is one of that is the highest level you can get to, and realistically, those two kids planned and plotted for a year or so. It feels like to know exactly where to go in case of.
Yeah.
So it was a weird situation, and again, a lot of red flags were given prior to the massacre. That level of violence, and unfortunately, again, no one really paid attention, or they just simply ignored it, thinking that we're just going to pass it down, pass the buck.
No, well, there were a lot of places where people noticed, hey, what are you going to do with all this PVC pipe? And all this shit and all that shit, and there were, like, wasn't just the parents. There were teachers. There were people who were selling them this shit. Like, what are you gonna do with this? Oh, just the signs were there, and they ignored it to the point to where, to an unbelievable stupid level. Even this one, the girl was so stupid. She was literally like, I gotta show you my guns and all this stuff, and I was like, dude, that's fucking a red flag. If I saw that, I'd be like, hey, principal, I'm not saying this person's going to do anything, but I think they're going to do something.
Yeah.
You know?
Showcasing your guns and that on social media, that should be considered, if not a complete red flag, it should be alerted to law enforcement and that kind of going. We may need to keep an eye on this one. This is a new purchaser. He's showcasing these, and we need to get a little bit more deets.
Now, on the other hand, you got people who showcase their airsoft guns.
Yes,
totally different, not lethal. If it was at a shooting competition, but they're just showing them off like I just bought these and gonna have some fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think everybody should have the same kind of level of set questionabilities if you decided to go on social media.
Well, it's not only that, it's like not even airsoft guns, paintball guns and stuff like that. I mean, it's to the point. Actually, let me go find something real quick. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not saying for me as a Canadian that's not that you guys shouldn't purchase weapons of any nature, but unfortunately, when you get to that level, especially if you're a younger generation, yeah, you might want to kind of at least put those people on some degree of be mindful list.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of.
I gotta go.
All right.
I was hoping to stay longer, but yeah.
Yeah, go. Okay, talk to you later, Jim. Anyway, as you were going to say there, Gil, Valid.
Yeah, so for me, when it comes to the whole thing, I don't know, I would say you could increase the age for buying, but the problem with that is what are you going to increase it to? 21? 21-year-olds are basically just 18-year-olds, but a few years older. They're
pretty much it.
Well,
retard.
And here's the main thing about the whole deal about guns too. It's I'll show you this. This.
He's gonna shoot up a school now. Fuck.
Well, he hasn't got to school yet.
This is my paintball gun. It is a paintball gun. The thing looks damn near close to fucking tactical AR.
You could. I could also see the actual air hose and that.
But from a distance. From a distance, you do have that look. That's why I said previously that I'm not overly concerned about purchases and that. But I would say that after a certain point, observation is needed, just to be,
I guess the best way to put it is not just that they posted a picture of that shit on social media, but that in conjunction with whatever else is on social media.
Right. That is
right. If I was talking about kill Muslims, right, and then 3 weeks later buys an AR.
Yeah, you have what they're saying, plus you have. So basically, that's why I said you want to get more details before assuming that they're going to do harm. It is unfortunately where we are at this stage. It's okay, is this person going to be a detriment to society at large, or is this person a peaceful individual, even though they have a hobby that most don't have?
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of that weird line. Now, I know for both Republicans and Democrats, they really don't want to have the answer to this solution or to this problem, because both of them use this as some degree of voting. So it's a political matter all the way around. So that just gives them some degree of synergy. Well, one side says we should, ban and legalize guns even further than what it is, certain guns and that. And another group kind of goes, well, we've already gone beyond where we should be going, and I think we've gone too far. And
well, when you get to the point of saying, oh, we need to ban ghost guns and stuff like that, it's you do know they are illegal anyways.
Yeah.
Well, so,
but again,
how far you guys? How far you guys say is okay, we're gonna ban this gun that's already banned, that's already you can't have, it's already illegal, it's already all this, but we're gonna go for and ban it further. That's done anything as of yet? And really, it also depends on what your terminology for a ghost gun is. Like, a lot of people wants to say that the those 3D printed guns, the ghost guns. You might be right to a point, but that's not the definition for the ghost gun. The definition for the ghost gun is a gun with the serial number removed by some way, shape, or form from the gun itself, or not there. That is a ghost gun. And it's like, well, that should be illegal. It is illegal. So it's a stupid roundabout argument.
Dude, I have people messaging me telling me we should have background checks. Like, people unironically believe... I know. People unironically believe that you can just go to Walmart, buy a gun, and go home, and no background check whatsoever.
Bullshit! Hang on.
But Sparky, that is the... This comes back down to how much information is being given to the actual public and those who need to listen to it.
Well, here is a little lesson, because right now I'm showcasing my... What brand was this? I think this was a Winchester.
Yeah, pretty much, Sparky, right? Manifesto.
We're getting pretty soon he'll have like a little Bible or something, you know.
No,
he'll be this is bombs.
Alright, so this is a Winchester 3030. I bought this thing at Walmart. Now,
was it in the baby aisle next to baby food pablum, that kind of stuff?
It's in the sporting goods aisle. Now, here's how the process went for me to get this gun. I went down to buy the gun. I had to fill out 3 forms. They had to get sent in. And then I had to put a deposit down on the gun.
Okay.
Then I had to wait 6 days.
Oh God, 6 whole days?
Yeah, I had to wait 6 days for them to come back and say, yes, the background check cleared. I'm cleared to buy this gun. And then go down there, and then I had to sign about 3 or 4 more forms. And then I was able to actually pick up the gun and go. Could not buy ammo. I had to go someplace else to buy ammo, because the policy is you can buy a gun if you pass a background check, but you can't buy gun and ammo at the same time.
Makes sense.
Missouri.
And this was back in 2011.
Yeah, but Sparky, we're talking about 2022. I mean, seriously, current year, Sparky. Think current year. No, anywho, but. Where it's harder to get baby food than it is to get, easier to get a gun than it is to buy baby food or something like that. Those
brass and lead is
where
cheap.
A gallon of milk is the same price as gasoline.
Yeah, pretty much, right? but still, at the end of it, you guys already have the rules that have been rewritten in some cases, are baked into a certain structure. But again, the average moron out there, whether it be especially on the left-hand side, who really don't know, because again, they're a bunch of city folks. They think it is easy for a country bumpkin like you to walk into any mom and pop shop to pick up any form of rifle just like that. Just as easy as for you to go pick up a gallon of gas or something.
Well, here's what I gotta tell them: go buy a gun.
Dude, what's really funny is, so whenever COVID hit, I can't find this YouTuber again, which is really annoying. But this YouTuber, he owns a pawn shop, and he said a lot of city people, and it's in, I think he owns it in like Northern California, I believe. But he had a lot of people from the rest of California coming into his fucking pawn shop during COVID, and then they were bitching him out because they weren't getting the guns for like 2 weeks or some shit, and had to fill out a bunch of forms and stuff. And he's like, "This is the shit you guys wanted. This is what you voted for. This is what you've been crying about for years, saying didn't exist."
Yeah.
I mean,
what wasn't the Michael Moore thing for Bowling for Columbine the same kind of process where he found out that it took longer to actually purchase that gun?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, there's been a couple people thought that they were so ingenious and they were so smart, and it's like, well, we got to prove how easy it is to buy a gun, and then Leon had to come down and go, oh, well, it's actually really hard because I think half of them got rejected and failed the background check.
Yeah. No, it is fascinating that the documentaries that do exist, whether it be from the extreme left or someone who's kind of skew center or even on the right hand side, the rules are in place. All you have to do is take the time, pay attention, and actually watch the shit. But again, like I said before, most average citizens don't really know or even have the time to learn.
Well, and
they have the time. They just
and here's the thing too: is like a lot of trade shows. Trade shows come up all the fucking time. It's like, oh well, you can buy guns very easily at trade shows. No, you can't.
It depends.
No, you cannot.
On the state. It depends. Like in Missouri, I can just go to a fucking gun show in like 10 seconds and walk out with a shotgun. And the only reason I know that
a shotgun's different.
I mean, okay. I've never bought an AR at a gun show, so I mean, I guess I wouldn't know that. But I mean, whatever. Like the thing is private sale in Missouri is absolutely like, so we have constitutionalist everything.
Yeah.
So like basically I can go to my neighbor's house, buy their AR, and not even have to alert any police force whatsoever of any bill of sale.
Well, I mean that's private sale, and yes, if you go to a gun show, it is very possible to run across someone who is privately selling a gun. But any one of those people that are there with actual booths there for the actual event have to be licensed, have to be registered, and they do have to run background checks.
Well,
if
you have an FFL, I don't think you even can do a private sale with an FFL.
All I heard was private boobs. Anybody who has private boobs, and I'm like, oh, really? And then you guys talked more about guns. I got sidetracked. Sorry.
Okay, boobs. But anyways, no, it's like Oak Fest, Oklahoma Full Auto Shooting Trade Show. I've walked it every year for like last 12 years, and it's like there's people who go down there and sell guns. I've seen people sell AKs and ARs and old vintage guns and stuff like that, but there's a process you gotta go through to get them. Like if it's a certain type, you gotta have a certain type of license and permit to be able to buy guns, because some of those guns, they are fully automatic, because there are a lot of old World War vintage guns out there.
That's fair.
And so you gotta have a special license and permit before you can even go in to attempt to buy one. And even then, you still gotta go through the processes of filing a background check, and it's a 2-part process. It's called a quick form and a log form. So the quick form is basically just runs your name and some basic information into a system. And if nothing comes back negative, then you fill out the long form and send it in. And because you passed the quick form, you can grab the gun, buy it, and be on the way, and then the long form's still being processed. However, you are still subject to recall within that 3 to 6 day period it takes to run that long form. If anything does pop, you have to go back and return the
Well,
gun.
Brett, that's why a lot of people just leave the fucking gun there. So
Yeah.
So there's a process to this.
It's almost like being, and this is something for most city folks, anybody who's actually lived in the city, being pre-approved for a credit card but not get the credit card.
Yeah.
You've been pre-approved. Now we need you to continue this process, and we can give you this credit card. Oh, God.
So here's one argument that I've heard is so asinine, is I hold the gun manufacturers accountable for shootings and stuff like that. It's like, that is so stupid. And it sets a precedent.
Can we hold the car manufacturer accountable for...
Time out. That's what comes back into this. Is like, okay, let's hold Ford for all the drunk drivers out there. Let's hold Dell for the internet hatred out there, forcing people to commit suicides. Let's criticize or go after Dell or HP. It's like, what is that? Let's stop.
What is better?
Let's hold the mothers of my rape victims accountable for their daughters getting raped.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that makes sense. I love that one. That's actually pretty good to ice.
Yeah, but that's like a slippery slope that you don't want to fucking do it, because then anyone could be held responsible for something that they didn't do.
Can we hold Disney accountable for all the pedos that are out there who are going after a lot of girls and boys?
Can we hold Biden responsible for the downfall of the American economy right now?
Well, I mean, he doesn't pass the sniff test. I mean, you have to pass his sniff test, but not the other way around. So,
but no, it's just so many fucking stupid arguments out there.
Well, that's the problem when it gets down to this level of insanity. We have, again, two different levels of politicians arguing for something that's already in existence. And you have people who are going to believe the Kool-Aid, or as I like to call it, the Fool-Aid, and believe that none of these things are in system. None of these things actually happen, that everybody's able to get a gun lickety-split, all by just showing up and putting down a credit card. That's why I understand that. But again, that's what they believe. And they're not going to listen to the other side because, hey, they're the enemy.
Look, and here's the thing. Most gun people are okay with these regulations merely because they're not criminals. So they don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, look, we can take some of the prominent YouTubers out there, or used to be the prominent YouTubers out there, like Ethan Kleins.
Oh God.
Oh,
he production. H3, the moron that he is. He himself is a gun nut. He went out and shot with another YouTuber. So
he has a Benelli shotgun.
Yeah, he does. I know, but again, he goes on one extreme, kind of going, "I love my gun," and then the other extreme that
you can't have none.
So I mean, he's the weirdest Jew. Plus, his wife, another Jew. The actual Jew that actually lives in Israel, that's taken over most of Palestine. She was part of the Jewish army. And she wanted more on the front line than she was in the office. Figure that out. Yet, she's a pacifist. She wanted to kill more Palestinians, but she was a pacifist.
I mean, I'm okay with killing more Palestinians, but my thing is that what I'm confused about, why is she fucking him? That's the question I got right now.
Again, probably because no one else was willing to fuck her.
I mean, I guess... I don't know.
It does kind of swing both ways, and he just happens to be a Jew boy, and she was able to leave out of Israel to go over to the Americans because of him. So I think he was a golden goose.
I don't, even at this point, I don't even take what H3 Ethan. I don't take what he says.
At this point, at any point, I've never taken him to.
Here's the only thing I'm gonna give him credit for. He did good for the community on beating a false spurious DMCA takedown. That's the only thing I'm giving him credit for. Everything else, he's just an idiot.
That is considered a happy accident, Sparky. That's a happy accident.
Well, because now he does takedowns.
Yes, he does. Actually, he's always done takedowns. This is the problem with he's always done takedowns. It was just once the shoe went onto his foot, he then pitched a bitch, and it became a happy accident. He went to court, and he won. That's it.
Oops.
Yeah. So, but he's notorious for doing the massive takedowns, the DMCAs and that. So you can't do anything without him being, somewhere in the shadows.
I'm just pissed off that conservatives right now are screeching at me over my video about him, which is insane. I gave the Supreme Court's definition of incitement.
Yeah.
Which he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're mad at me because I said he did not incite violence with what he had said recently. He said someone should blow up the NRA building. That's not, we need to go blow up the NRA building right now. Let's go.
They're two basically, at the end of the day, It was a bad joke. Even his people also said it was a bad joke. Hell, his wife pretty much tried to stop him from telling the bad fucking joke. I have the clips.
I wouldn't even say yes, you're right. You can say he is not advocating for that, but in a roundabout way, you could almost say he is trying to.
No, I'm not saying he's not advocating for it.
No, not advocating for it, but
calling.
Not that I can't remember I can't remember the fucking term for it. Starts with B. Fuck.
Illegal.
I can't remember what the fucking term is, but it's like, it's actually against YouTube's terms of service. What he did actually. I know they don't care, but technically, if you want to look at the letter of the TOS, it is.
They kind of did.
You're correct.
They were gonna turn a blind eye, but because they had so many people demanding, they took him off for about a week.
But
I can't remember the name for it. Brigading. That's it. Brigading.
Oh. Okay. Well.
Okay, that's a hard one.
Yeah, like what he did was incitement of violence, which was the argument that I was making, and I even quoted the Supreme Court in a comment.
Yeah,
later.
No. He wasn't.
If you want to say he was calling, for violence, fine. Like you know what? Quartering said that, and I'll let that slide because that's a broad brush term that I don't care. But incitement is a very hyper specific autistic word. And if you cannot use it beyond its very specific meaning, like whatever, in order to incite violence, it must result in imminent illegal action. And the word imminent is important there. And the Supreme Court has ruled using the definition 3 times. And and it is no excuse that people on the internet would sit there and say he incited violence, and then also simultaneously say Trump didn't. If Ethan Klein was inciting violence, and so did Trump.
Yeah, that's basically. I would agree, because I was going to go in that direction as well. It's like, well, if you're saying that Ethan Klein was inciting it, then this would be the same kind of terminology for anybody who has a complete fondness of Trump and the rallies that he did prior. You can consider that as incitement. Even though it's kind of a gray zone. So, I mean...
Yeah. Like, and I'm okay with people saying this, like, here's the thing, okay? It's important. I support what Ethan Ralph said, or rather, let me rephrase that. I support his right to say what he said. Or Ethan Klein, they're all the same to me.
Well, they're both morons, but I want to go into that Ethan Ralph one later. But Klein's what we're talking about here.
All right, time out. Let me read
but
this.
Ethan Klein, I support his right to say it.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's fine, and this is why I'm coming back in. I'm saying is like what he did was kind of brigading. Which no, it's not called violence. It's not anything like that. You can look at it constitutionally. What he did, it doesn't violate no laws. But if you come down to it,
in terms of serve for sure, yes.
Oh yeah, because it's calling to action, vaguely through loose terminology to insinuate or to suggest something to a small or large group of people, whether it be legal or illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is within the terms of service that we all kind of agree to. Unbeknownst to us.
And in the video that I made, I actually pointed out that although it may not be illegal for what he said, it doesn't matter because what he said violated the platform that he was on. But and I said, like, if Ben Shapiro said that fucking shit about the NAACP, holy fuck,
Ben would be,
Yeah,
Ben would be yeeted with no questions. But no, again, unfortunately, when you look at Klein's, he did kind of go off with his bad comedy act for his Hee production After Dark. It was terrible. Worst jokes ever.
That was supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, the comments. The comments on your fucking video are oozing with like autism.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people with autism. I'm surprised. And again, here's a weird thing. Statistically speaking, most school shooters do have a degree of autism.
Oh shit! I haven't looked since like yesterday.
There's like
It has
25
300
comments.
views for some reason. Yeah. Oops.
You know what?
I
That's probably going to be one of your more popular videos.
I was on this Johnny on the spot at 5 a.m.
Well,
Okay, like I even opened the video saying I should have just went to bed because instead of checking Twitter first.
Yeah, well, teaches you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like,
but
sorry.
No,
oh
you're
no,
not sorry.
but I'm just now looking at some of it. Yeah, there is a lot of autism in this.
Holy
shit,
dude! That you
bad.
have in just one Ethan Klein video, you've got that comparative to your Boo Hoo thing that you did, 301 so far.
Yeah,
views.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I'm actually kind of surprised on one of my videos on STC Watch Club. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 reactionary commentary I done is up to
I
like
need to watch that goddamn movie.
It's up to 2,400 views.
Nice.
It's the largest video so far.
Oh, cool. The only thing I'll give you, Vlad, it's kind of the same as the first movie, just moving the story further down the road.
I have it.
Robotnik thing is going to be very questionable since we have Jim Carrey doing another one of his stints of I'm going to retire. So,
I have
kind of questionable.
Yeah, for Vlad, I have the video saved.
Well,
I just gotta have a way to.
I saw it on Amazon.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'm saying is I was able to get the video about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, you should be on demand by now. So.
Yeah, but I totally fucking forgot about the movie.
It's okay.
I felt like it. But the thing is like there's several movies that I totally forgot about.
Yeah,
I loved The Northman though.
Oh, how do you like The Northman?
A lot.
There you go. I pretty much have been telling anybody who has a chance and opportunity to actually watch it, please watch it because even though it's kind of a retelling of the classic Hamlet, because it is following the some of the original storylines of the creation of Hamlet, or at least the plot points.
Well, Hamlet ripped off the story of Hamlet.
Yes, I know.
Which was actually a saga.
Yes,
yeah, I actually read the saga. Yeah. I did like I understand. Okay, look, I'm obsessed with Hamlet. All right, so like I whenever I was in school, all right, that was like my all-time favorite fucking story. I know it's fucking weird.
No.
And then I was so obsessed with it, I also read the saga of Hamlet as well.
Oh, cool. Because that is pretty much when I heard that they were doing The Northman and the factor that they were going to be doing an artsy interpretation of it from the actual saga. I'm like, well, it's interesting. And I got a chance to actually view it before it actually hit the big screens for everybody. So it's like, oh, okay. Definitely something that, just like Top Gun, if you haven't seen it already, please go see it. Another one that feels like this is the last action hero.
I hated the original one.
Okay, if you hated the original one, then you may not like.
I absolutely fucking despised Top Gun, and also the video game.
Well, the video game is obviously questionable.
Top Gun video game.
I know there's quite a few.
I'm actually.
It was on the NES.
Yeah.
I was really skeptical because I do like Top Gun. I like Top Gun for a couple reasons. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that one.
The only good thing about that movie is Val Kilmer, and then the rest of it's just stupid.
Yeah. Actually, they would have never been able to film the movie if they didn't oblige by Tom Cruise's demand almost. You had to have Val Kilmer in order for him to complete the movie.
I can respect that.
So I would have to say the cameo of Val Kilmer was interesting. I was quite impressed with how they did his cameo bit and how they worked him into the script or into the scenario that we have going along the way. It does have the same kind of beats as he did in the 80s. It just, like I said, it does move the story further down the road where...
Well, I need to rewatch the first one first. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I haven't even seen Top Gun since I was 13.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe my perception of the movie is what might have, or maybe my taste might have changed. I mean, it probably
you never know.
did. I don't know.
You never know. Most people, most childlike understanding of things are a little bit different as you grow up. I mean, your taste changes for food and that, so over time.
Hey, look, my favorite movie of all time when I was 8 years old was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I went and watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids at like 17, and then wanted to fucking kill myself.
There you go.
Yeah. So, like, and then and the same thing with Dark Crystal. I loved Dark Crystal when I was a kid. I tried watching it in my 20s, and it was like, oh my god, this is so fucking boring.
Well, I have my skepticisms with the new Top Gun movie because I figured the guy
I hate Tom Cruise. So
and a lot of people do, but it's I wouldn't be going to watch the movie for Tom Cruise. I'll just be watching the movie because I like the dynamic of it, and that's why.
Yeah, and
that's what I like about it. But it's like sitting there going about how today's films are being filmed. It's just all sorts of, they gotta fuck it up, they gotta put some sort of bullshit in it, and it's gotta be, they gotta just destroy what it was, and it's gotta ruin the movie for me.
And the Avengers, oh wait.
But after listening to Rogue a little bit about the movie, he's hyping it up. And
I watched the Critical Drinker review.
Yeah, well, he normally doesn't hype up a lot of stuff, so whenever he hypes up something, it's like, okay, you got my attention.
A movie or a show, you have to. There's a reason behind it. For me, knowing. Okay, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. I've seen a lot of his body of work. He is a very short man. He's also kind of all over the place with the. He's really short. He films
and he likes to jump on couches.
Yes, he does. They do try to film him at odd angles to make him look a little bit taller than what he actually is. Regardless, at this stage of his career, he is considered the last action type actor in existence.
Let's ignore Sylvester Stallone then. Okay.
What was the last movie that outside of Rambo, which was very questionable?
I liked that movie.
The last one.
Yes.
Ooh, that last one was very socially woke.
How? It was hated by every single... Wait, are we talking about Rambo or Rocky? I'm sorry. But, because in Rambo, it was hated by every single woke article I ever read. They actually called the movie racist and a Trump voter's wet dream and shit was like some of the quotes that I got. Because he was like just whacking the cartel.
Yeah. I know. I've seen some of those things for extreme leftists. Yeah, it's not liked upon them, but for a liberal, it is a perfect liberal movie.
I don't know.
I mean, who is he going after? Oh yeah, the cartel. Who are the bad guys in the fucking movie? And who is he saving? Oh right, a woman who happens to be being abused by the cartel. Huh? Weird.
I mean, yeah. But they're Mexicans, and you killed them.
Again,
so
liberals.
That's like the end of it for me.
Yeah, but also liberals kind of have this whole salivation of trying to save people from different areas.
I mean, look, to be fair, my complaint about the movie was it was a rehash of Rambo 2.
Yeah, it is.
Because Rambo 2 kind of followed the same motif. He had this chick that he loved. Now, granted, the love was different in this one, but
yes,
he had a chick that he loved. He failed to save her. It was the same shit. And then I think and the thing is like I don't have an issue with it because it was kind of a rip-off of Rambo 2. But I don't think it was woke by any means because, again, it was a rip-off of Rambo 2. Also, they did actually fall into this Mexican stereotype, which I know pissed off Mexicans that I know personally that were, like, deeply butthurt about the father figure in the film. Because it was a stereotype of Mexicans, but it's like, it exists for a reason. Okay. But no, I mean, like, I can see what you mean. Like, it had like that massive like hero complex about the movie. But what I thought was woke was fucking Creed.
Oh yeah, no, that's another one that he himself directed or pretty much directed that area for the most part. That's where he wants to have Creed to go into.
Yeah,
this is why this is the reason why I say this. Like somebody like Tom Cruise is your last action hero, whereas somebody like Stallone, he's trying to make artsy movies with typical old classic liberal based movies.
Now, I will say though that the only credit I'll give Tom Cruise is he's gotten a lot better with age. And
Yes.
for example, I don't like the movies I'm about to make. Well, I like the first movie out of the two. But I don't think they're very. What I'm about to say is very like the movies are very accurate to what they were based on. But Jack Reacher, I liked his role and like his acting rather as Jack Reacher in the Jack Reacher movies. Although I think the Jack Reacher show that's on Amazon that is surprisingly as far away from woke as humanly possible, it's actually really weird how much like an 80s movie or 80s show it is.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like although I think that's more representative of what Jack Reacher is supposed to be, I did think his character, or that Tom Cruise's character in Jack Reacher, was not bad. And I was actually positively surprised because you got to understand, the series I hate more than anything he's ever done is Mission Impossible. I fucking hate those movies.
Like, it's not going to get any better because he's got the next one is coming out or will be coming out if it hasn't already come out. So. I already question the Mission Impossibles, but unfortunately for him, he does his own fucking stunts, so you know it's going to be off the wall. So,
I mean, like again, I don't give him there are things that I'll give him credit for, but I don't think he's the best actor on the planet.
No.
And the thing is like for me, I prioritize an ability for dramatic flair above everything else. Right, so like for example, I guess you would say like my favorite action star ever would, if you want to call him that, would be Mel Gibson.
I guess I thought you were being attacked by Freddy.
Yeah, no, that's my daughter playing some weird shit. Anyway, but no, like Five Nights at Freddy or Friday, goddamn. No, Mel Gibson is one of my favorites. I was actually hoping he would play Amleth in The Northman, but he's too old. But he played Hamlet, so I wanted it to come full circle.
I remember that. So I get the connection that you were trying to go for. Like, it would have been interesting, but he would have been more expensive.
Yeah, true.
So as well as Hollywood still doesn't like him for whatever crazy reasons that Hollywood doesn't like anybody.
No, there's some good reasons. Like
but I say, we could give a lot of the reasons that Hollywood hates.
Base. He's too base.
Of course.
Like he said, what was it? He was screaming at his wife, saying that she's dressed like a fucking slut, and if she gets raped, it's her fault because of how she's dressed and shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry.
But again, he's just like anybody else who is eccentric within Hollywood, who they usually turn a blind eye to. But they have their creative blacklist for whatever purposes. So I mean, we will be getting the Sumerian or the next Stallone movie. Outside of that, we'll also get Expendable 4.
I don't care about that. I really don't. Fuck Expendables. Expendables 3 had so much potential and they fucked it up. So
yeah. He's also on board with having a full female cast for the Expendables.
Ew.
Yeah. Which is why I kind of lean towards kind of going. He is a lefty, but he's more liberal. The classic staunch liberal.
Well, he's got all of his kids or daughters, so I think that's a large part of all that.
Yeah, that does help, but he's been trying to focus on a redirection of a lot of his franchisable movies.
Yeah. Although I did. What's that guy's name that's on True Bloods? I never remember his fucking name. Fuck. Yeah. Or Blue Blood. That was it.
Blue Blood. The guy with the mustache, Tom Selleck.
Yeah, Tom Selleck. So, one of my favorite movie series things that he does is Jesse Stone.
Yeah.
The Jesse Stone movies I absolutely adore. There's like 9 of them, and so he was supposed to do a 10th one in like 2012 or some shit, right? Yeah. And he didn't do it. And then apparently he started. They were gonna do it.
That kid, hello, have a wrench, welcome to chat.
Came out and said that he's probably not going to do it, at least on Hallmark now. And the reason why is, and this is his words, is because Hallmark has become woke.
Yes.
And I'm like, holy fuck, you got this old guy, he just doesn't care.
No, but again, we're talking about a guy that his bread and butter was Magnum PI.
Yeah, Magnum PI is
shorts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've watched that show all the way through like twice.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
So, I mean, this is the problem with this is the same direction I kind of go with the other shows that I do. The same issue with the Hollywood woke version of it. They want to be able to redefine every sense of history when it comes down to the movie market and kind of go, well, it was always socially woke, and now we've got to push it to that level that showcases how socially woke it was. Or if it didn't meet up with their new versions of what is considered socially woke, then they'll just kind of amplify it to 11 and showcase how it should have been. Right the wrongs of yesteryear.
Right. What I love to hear is that there was no racism before the 1600s. That's my favorite line of all time. Of
course, yeah. Yeah, I mean, fuck. That's
I've had so many arguments over that.
Unfortunately, it's trying to say it's the same people that don't fully understand that racism is becoming a social norm for a lot of ethnic individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, yeah. Oh, no one's racist on that side. No one of persons of colors is racist. Yeah, try again.
Right? I mean, like, it's weird. I like here's the thing, okay? Whenever somebody says that you can't be, that there's not racism against white people, they have not worked in a location that's primarily filled with black people as a white person.
Oh yeah,
I have. Yeah, the thing is like, so I worked for this is hilarious. So I worked briefly for Bass Pro in their main warehouse, right? And the issue is that the majority of people there, understandably, were black, and the reason being is because that job doesn't require really anything, right?
Right.
You don't they don't do background checks, they don't care about your previous work experience. All they care about is if you fucking show up, do your job, and go home. Okay. And so because of that, there's a lot of black people that are working there. I was the fucking literal white guy. I was looked at as that white guy, almost in the snap of a finger. Because like 80% of the workforce in that warehouse, or at least my side of the warehouse, was all black. And so I walk in, seriously, with fucking a long-ass beard, fucking plaid, jean shorts, and Crocs. All right? Oh, and a ball cap. And I was that white guy.
All right, hang on a minute, guys. That kid, thank you for subbing. Let us know what you think of the content so far.
We have people that are subbing to you. Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know. I'm just saying thanks.
Oh no, I understand that you say you're doing that. I mean, it's almost like an obligation, but I'm still trying to figure out why. No, anywho,
But yeah, but you can imagine that, and I actually did have to deal with I ended up having to quit because some black chick accused me of sexually assaulting her somehow because I called her fat.
With your eyes, because I bet you're probably one of those blue-eyed kids. So yeah, you did.
I am blue-eyed. Yes.
You're one of those evil blue-eyed children who will rape one of those lovely black women, those black goddesses, with your fucking eyes. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, so what happened was, as she went to the bathroom, and before she got back, I had dropped my scanner gun thing on the floor, and I'd been over to pick it up, and she came up behind me, and she was like, "Can you move your fat ass out of my way, please?" Right? And then as she walked by, I'm like, "Yeah, because you're really fucking skinny." Yeah, and so what happened is she went to the black floor manager lady, and told her that I had physically, sexually assaulted her.
Okay.
And then the lady called me out in front of everybody, like kind of loudly, and said that and asked and I said I did not, and she said, "Are you saying she's lying?" And I said, "Yeah, all I did was call her fat." Yeah, and then she responded with, "Well, women don't lie about that kind of thing."
Right.
Like,
oh shit.
Yeah, they do. Anyway, and then she said if it ever happens again, she was gonna fire me, and so I left. I went home. And then, but the fun. Okay, so both of them ended up getting fired, by the way. So that was they did have a happy ending because the guy that actually hired me called me the next day, asking me why I wasn't coming back, and I told him the whole story, and apparently, multiple claims had been made previous to me about that sort of shit going on, but I was the only person that he was able to talk to about that happening. So yeah, but anyway, but the point is though is that there was not just that, there was a lot of racism going on, and it wasn't just against white people like me.
No, I know. I mean,
basically just me. And there was no, hold on, this is the best part. There was actual Africans that were working there, that the black people working there were shitting on, and I was hanging out with them.
Yeah,
the actual Africans.
I know. So this is the biggest problem when it comes down to. This is the same thing that I have to remind the cricket who love to pull his Asian card every now and then. Yes. Who loves to pull his Asian card every now and then. I'm going, and unfortunately, I've dated a lot of blacks, Asians. I've hung out with a lot of people of different color and ethnical backgrounds, and I can tell you straight up, they're racist as fuck. It's just it is what it is. Everybody has their own clique and clan, and if you're an outsider of that group, guess what? You're going to be pointed to and made fun of in some cases. So it is what it is. It's just it's a natural state. It's human.
Yeah, I can't remember where they were from. It starts with an N, and it wasn't Oh no, I think it was Nigeria, something like that.
Yeah.
But they were. It was when I sat with them, and I had long, interesting conversations with those fucking people. Yeah. And you know what's really awesome is hearing them say nigger with their accent.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Oh God, I love. Look, I mean,
because the guy said I'm not one of those niggers. Like looking at them.
Yes,
it was pretty funny.
No, and again, those who are from Africa will actually tell anybody who's from any form of North America who has some degree of black heritage. I will just clearly say that they're not African. They're whatever that origin. So you if you're from the United States, born and raised, well, guess what? You're an American. It just seems funny that only in the Western Front do we have to put a hyphenate in front of these people so that they can feel special in some way. It's just
speaking about this conversation, I sent you both a DM.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds true.
Pretty close. Pretty fucking close. Pretty fucking close.
And I'll showcase on the screen.
Yeah. I know, and the beautiful thing is the black on black crime. They don't want to talk about it. They will ignore it like the plague.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. You get a black guy holding a gun to a white guy. That's racist, right? It's the black guy, the villain. You get the white guy holding a gun to a black guy. That's racist, right? That's the black guy have to get shot. You have a black guy holding a gun to a black guy. It's like, that's racist, right? It's the only black people killing each other. And then you have the last one, which is a white guy holding a gun to another white guy. That's racist. Why are there no black people in this movie?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, anybody, and again, I find it fascinating that it's mostly the white liberals that are doing it, and they scream up and down. And realistically, I don't trust anybody who's considered themselves a liberal and who happens to be white. I kind of go, damn straight. Prejudice too.
So basically, what you're saying is you hate Twitch.
Yeah, there's that level that I kind of do. Yeah, I kind of do hate it. But then again, it's just like YouTube. It's the only miniature game that's there if you want to do some miniaturely streaming that has a degree of eye contact. Fuck. But no, if anything, if you want to, you can always go back to Malcolm X and his statement when it comes down to the white liberals, or liberals in general, who happen to be white. They're untrustworthy. You can't trust them worth a damn. They're the worst. They present themselves like they are the meek and mild out of the most dangerous in the canine species, like for example fox versus the wolf. They present themselves as not that dangerous. In actuality, they'll eat you up pretty quick.
Yeah, especially if you don't agree with them.
Oh fuck yes. So and they'll ignore your plights or your the issues that you might actually have that do have points. I mean, for example, the United States has one of the highest populations of blacks that kill themselves. Like black on black crime is one of the biggest.
Yep.
And not one of those liberals are willing to talk about it and why it's causing. What is the causal factors of why blacks are systematically killing other blacks? They'll just say, "Oh, it's just racism."
I can tell you why. It's called a self-solving problem.
No, I understand that. That's usually what those who have gotten themselves out of the quote unquote ghettos will actually say. It's like, yeah, we have nothing to do with that. So, and I always find it funny. I always find it very fascinating. Anybody who's from the ghetto, who gets out of the ghetto, they never want to go back, and they make sure that their children never know that they were from the ghetto.
The guy that hired me, that I was talking about earlier, was black, by the way. The one that fired those two black women.
Yeah.
And in fact, he was banging one of them, the female manager. But he actually had a whole speech that he was telling to the other black people there that he got out of the ghetto, and was telling how he did it through hard work and following the law.
That's good speech.
And then he was going on about how he doesn't want to hear anybody whining about whatever shit. It was like basically extremely, based shit. But he worked every day. He worked like fucking 7 days a week. Like he was a workaholic.
Yeah,
it was really weird. But I mean, he made a ton of money too. So
well, I mean, that's what happens when you start, getting yourself further up that echelon there. I mean, unfortunately. If you want to get the money, or if you want to have your own business, you're gonna have to put a lot of time in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
a lot of fucking time.
So there you go. And that's the price we pay. But at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of these individuals don't want to take any form of accountability, responsibility for whatever has come towards them. It's always somebody else's problem, always somebody else's fault. So.
And then you have black conservative Christians, and that shit gets crazy.
Yeah, it does. They're just as bad as the redneck blacks, as I like to call them. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's just the way how they adopted and recreated their customs. So yeah, They're not really black, like African black. They are another breed altogether. Their culture has been pretty much restructured to fit that area. That they were born and raised. And I find it funny the moment if any one of those any one of those individuals who were born in North America decide to go to Africa, they automatically become North American very quickly. Very quick. I mean, I'm black, and my ancestry is from Africa, and they've got the whole shits and giggles. It's supposed to be completely Africana. The moment they go over into Africa, they become very Western very quickly. Yeah, I ate that kind of African. So no, you said you're from there.
Well, yeah. Well, even that stupid asshole that's currently on the Daily Show guy that nobody likes. Yeah, he used to say that shit.
Yeah. Well, he's become Westernized.
Yeah.
He's from South Africa.
Yep.
So realistically, the worst that his generation has seen, depending on how much wealth, because again, there was a wealth disparity, a class system in South Africa. It's very fascinating. So if you had money, didn't matter whether you're white or black, you looked down upon anybody who didn't have money. So, yeah, gotta love those Danishes.
Sounds like a good class system to me.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's a perfect system, right? I mean,
right.
But
it's right there below monarchy,
Yeah. Oh yeah. But again, that's how they survived for as long as they did under Danish rule. It's a class system. If you had money, you were able to hop snob with anybody, regardless of your skin color. If you didn't have money, well, guess what? You were no better than the dirt that was underneath their feet, so get the fuck out of their way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Base.
And the farmers were the ones that had the money. Figure that one out.
That's always the case.
So it's like, okay. So if you come from South Africa, you most likely have some degree of farming business or mining business who has a shit ton of money. So yeah, the blue collar. And then you have that hierarchy system to go with, and it's just fucked up there. But and again, most people will say that it was all because of the apartheid and that all these white Europeans ruled over the blacks. And it's like, well, if you look at their history, no.
I don't even know what apartheid means. I keep hearing it, and I've never bothered to look it up.
You already pretty much the United States went through it in the yesteryears when you were indoctrinating and purchasing slaves. That is basically what apartheid is. It's kind of like a slavering system.
Oh, so. I thought it would be more interesting.
No, it's not. It's just rules. I mean, Jim Crow laws were exactly the same thing that happened in South Africa. So
gotcha.
So it's the only difference is instead of being blacks versus white, it was who had the money versus who didn't. So the haves and have-nots. So you could say it was another different way of socialism.
Nice.
Yeah. It's yeah, taking the time to learn different cultures' history, you kind of realize that just because it happened on American soil doesn't mean that that was the only place that it ever happened. It happened everywhere.
No, slavery only happened in America. I mean,
yeah, I know. According to some histories, it's or some people's beliefs of their history. Yeah, that only happened there. It's like no, yes and no. And here's the biggest problem: the biggest runners of slavery happen to be within the Central Africa area, going from the east to west. And they ran that shit like kings, and they were all black, not a goddamn whitey in the bunch. And just so happened that the Europeans needed some extra bodies to do a few things for them, and hey, there's this guy over here that we could sell you. does all the labor for you. He won't complain, and if he does, you take this thing over here. We call it a whip, and you can smack him with it, and he'll do what it was required of you to have him do. Trust me, easy sell point. No Westerner stepped foot in Africa for a very long time, especially Americans, because again, until the antiviral for malaria they showed up. You had maybe, give or take, 5 days of survival in Africa.
Based.
Yeah. And after that, after all those medications came in and that to make sure that you lived longer in Africa, well, slavery was almost abolished. By whom? Oh, well, by the Europeans. Funny how that worked.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Spanish were the ones selling in the transatlantic trade, so
yep.
Well, they were buying them from the Africans and selling
yes, they were.
To the Europeans.
Yeah.
So
there was always a middleman, always somewhere. And for any Western European who wanted to go in to try to take over the African slave trade, wish you the best of luck, because that fucker was locked down. Anybody who wasn't a dark pigment trying to take over that game was met with several different degrees of violence. So, yeah. So, and unfortunately for the extreme left, they don't want to believe that version of history, which is true. They're so hell bent on the idea that no, just the white man is evil. Okay. Go figure that it took a bunch of whiteys to pretty much decimate slavery. Even today, even though it's still around, it's not as big and prevalent as it used to be. Oh, fuck. Racism, not even big and prevalent as it used to be, because it took another bunch of whiteys to make fun of it and ostracize anybody who was practicing any levels of racism. Huh, kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Yeah, and therefore white people are evil. I mean,
yeah, I mean, so be it. I mean, well, what do I know? I mean, I'm just a mixed breed with a bit of whitey in me, but honestly,
you're a mudblood.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, the funnier thing is if I was still living, in the continental United States under the Jim Crow law, I'd be considered black, no matter how much percentage of Western European I had in me. I was black.
Although you might be able to live in a house.
Oh yeah. Because I pass as, but again, I'd be very questionable. So yeah, I'd be able to live in a house and probably the more considered house niggers they used to be back in the day. But yeah.
Change your name to Tom.
Pretty much, right? Make sure I'm uncle to everybody. Definitely.
You goddamn Uncle Tom, you.
Hey, damn straight I am. Yes, master, I am. I'm so and so's uncle and so and so's uncle over there. Damn, you got me.
What was the old guys in the Boondocks? What was his favorite saying?
What's his face from? Are we talking about Uncle Effus?
I think it's Uncle Effus. He goes like, something about fuck. What was his saying?
Well, he had reverse vitiligo. That's for one. Uncle Ruckus is always like that, and he also had always about the niggatry that goes on with.
That's it. That's what I was. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, you were looking for those questionable niggatries that happened. Yes, I mean seriously, he was. That's a beautiful thing about that cartoon. It did peg the different types of the stereotypical blacks that exist within the community. But they were all at some degree of black, so it's kind of funny.
Well, I have my privilege,
Oh, apparently you do. Congratulations, you goddamn blue-eyed bastard. Next you'll be telling me you got some kind. Next you're telling me that you got some kind of blonde hair to go with those fucking blue eyes. Even so,
I
then
actually don't.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not as privileged of the privileged scale that you could be, but you still have some degree of privilege.
Right. Yeah, I'm a filthy brunette, blue eyes.
Oh, okay. So you have something called nigger blood somewhere in there, but you're not too sure where.
Well, here's the funny part too. I also have a red beard.
Holy shit! How'd you manage that?
Right? I don't know.
Jesus fucking Christ! Brown hair and on the top and growing out red hair in different places.
Apparently, what I didn't know is that somebody looked it up. Apparently the genes that for the head hair are different from the genes for the facial hair.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
yeah, makes sense.
So although for the most part people's hair on their face and their head match, it is not necessarily the case that they will.
Correct,
so that's why you also see women that will have like really blonde hair but like dark brown eyebrows. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. For if you're gonna go down that road, yeah. That makes
But
sense.
that's because like I have like my grandfather was like fucking basically just German Irish.
Okay. So technically, he's a refugee that happened to exist in. I got it.
Yeah, and then there's on my grandmother's side, like his wife. There's a lot of Irish and Spanish apparently.
Okay, so basically, if you have some Irish in you, then that just means you're not a person. Congratulations.
I'm okay with that.
Because back in the day, the Irish were considered not people. So
absolutely,
only became that way in the last, say, I give or take 100 years, something like that. Maybe if you're lucky, 75. Before you were considered a person. Congratulations, but even then, it's kind of questionable. So,
same with the Italians.
As well as a lot of Italians will say that they were on the right side of history during World War II.
No, they weren't.
Again, I know that. You know that. But like I said before, there was a lot of
Mussolini was fucking crazy.
I know he was. But again, there was quite a good swath of them that said, yeah, we were part of the Allied forces. No, you were part of the Axis. Sorry. Try again.
I want to hear what Pinoid says about his grandpa.
Oh God! But what is he planning on this time? God's sakes!
Yeah, I don't know. I want to ask him now if his what side of the war his grandpa was on.
Oh fuck! That'd be interesting if he actually tells the truth. That'd be interesting. Fuck
on any subject.
Well, he does have the ability to actually, give a degree of truth. It's just his version of it. Yes, depends on the situation. So I do have to give him some credit, not a lot, but some. That though I did find it fascinating that he decided to work alongside with Dean Esme, aka Maxwell, whatever he wants to call himself nowadays, for a podcast. And I knew that sucker was going to last very long. Because Punoid always liked to troll him. And Dean is one of those insane fuckers that hasn't really learned what trolling is all about for the most part. Because he believes that people are genuine with their statements. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not how that works, sir.
I just got sent something horrific as fuck.
Okay, you have to at least indulge me.
Hold on, I'm gonna send it to both of you. Sparky's gonna screech out.
Well, that only depends on what it is. Sparky looks like he's pretty much tired after doing all that yard work.
Yeah.
And failing to put up a teepee for the summer.
I don't need a teepee.
You think you think being part of the Cherokee flavor of Jeep, you would at least put up a teepee for the summer and then move it around your backyard every now and then, like every couple of weeks or so. You move it from one place to another.
I don't even feel comfortable putting this in Sparky's meme section on his Discord. Or mine, for that matter.
Ow. Yeah, that's
I'll be back.
Unfortunately, there are people that do that. There are people that do
that. Did he watch it?
Yeah, he did, and he had to leave. But unfortunately, there are people out there that does that kind of level of mutilation towards their members. So yeah, I'm like, what was that? Oh, okay, that's unfortunately that's normal.
What you need to do is you need to put down Twitter and tag Antoine.
Oh fuck! Oh Jesus Christ! Oh God! That's only if you just
for later.
you might want to. That's only if you want to be yeeted off of Twitter for a bit.
I think that's and that might be something you need to send to Drago and go, hey, got something else for your nuke folder.
I'm gonna save that for my personal folder.
Are we sure that wasn't Kraut?
Right?
It feels like it, right? Jesus, guys, or that's what's happening with Ralph Wiggum of the kill stream. Jesus.
And I had to go back open a beer. So
I thought you had to at least drop a couple of pounds or so. Beer, sure, okay.
No, somebody just sent that to me, and I wrote, "What the?"
The only thing I can kind of go, what kind of smut did they find that from? Because that's got to be from the deep circles of the mutilation porn that's out there.
I didn't
the
know
dog grab or something.
Yeah, that is a thing. There are people that actually do that. There are people that actually split those.
My fire chief, he has a odd fucking sense of humor. But he'll sit there and he'll show videos like that to people, just to catch their reaction. And he had about 15 to 20 of those.
Yeah, no,
and I'm sitting here going, it's like, I don't know what makes people decide to want to do that.
The internet.
Not necessarily. There are people that actually go all the way to amputate to remove limbs because they mentally feel that should be a thing.
So you mean trannies?
I wish that was just the case, but no. That's a different aspect of mental defect. Used to be what the term used to be considered. But self-mutilation is for some just like breathing. So if they're not mutilating themselves in some way, they don't feel that they should be breathing. So it is kind of weird that the human psyche is so broad when it comes down to what is acceptable and what isn't.
Well, we know if they go to the next step of decapitation.
Yeah, well, that ends the problem right there, right?
The problem will solve itself.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, there was one of my Australian instructors when I was doing security in that. He was an ex-police in his neck of the woods, and one of his last cases was a guy who was found hung, butt naked, with his dick split down the middle. At first, they thought it would be some form of homicide, but because of the scarring in that, with the dick split, they were old. So it's been an ongoing thing that he kind of reopened and cut even deeper into parting ways, so it actually curled. It was kind of weird. But he was into the whole infatuation, orgasm kind of stuff, as well as some degrees of mutilation. So you get, when it's good to get past that point of no return, it's just a matter of when you die, pretty much. So Yeah, seeing something like that, I'm not surprised. Though it is.
Well, I've got Tyro asking me, hey, Spy Family has not come out yet. It's like, I'm quite aware Spy Family has not come out.
Jesus Christ.
I just got done editing it, and it's actually uploading right now.
Oh God, with the Asian cricket, just chill out. Jesus fucking
Really?
Christ. Yeah.
Is that a serious question?
I actually said what?
Well, it's alright. So, we got 2 shows running on Saturdays and Sundays. And they're the current thing that's airing right now.
Hey.
So they come out a day after the actual episode drops in Japan. First one is Love After World Domination. The third one is Spy Family. And
okay.
I try to get them around 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah,
I've just been busy.
No, he does realize that you don't have like an editor on the sidebar that just does that for you at any given time. Just one person. Is he going to be helping you with that level of making sure it gets uploaded?
He helps me with the thumbnails.
Uploading schedule?
He helps me with the thumbnails and the schedule, so...
Yeah, that's great, but I don't hear he also uploads those things for you, so to make sure that they, get ready. But, cool.
It's kind of hard for him to upload.
No, I get it, but, I mean, him telling you that, yeah, this hasn't come out yet, it's like, yeah, we know.
Well, I understand where he's coming from. It's like, did something happen? Something go wrong? And it's like, no, I've just been busy. And while I've been on stream, I've been editing, and that's why I'm so freaking quiet right now, is I've been editing and...
No, again, you have your thing that you've got to do, I get it, but still, I mean... Come up with more ways to try and make money, because my little side gig is not working out too well, and being caught flat-footed because of something at the first of the month, and I'm still trying to catch up from it. Yeah.
It's like, I've got more things on my plate than, something that's, well, for right now, it's not making me any money. It just takes time to do.
Yeah, and that's something, I mean, keep in mind, these things that you're doing is kind of considered a hobby, so you get to complete it when it gets completed, and you move on to the next.
Wait, I thought working on trucks was his hobby. He just loved doing it.
That's another level of hobby-ish, but
yeah, especially working with others while working on trucks.
True, but he had to deal with
no. You don't get it. Here's my hobby. Here's my real hobby at work is trying to see how many people I don't kill at work. That's my hobby. And so far, I've been pretty good at the hobby.
You need to make your girlfriend work there.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he has to sleep with her. I mean, having to not only sleep with her and have her underneath. No, that's it's pushing me too much. I can see that.
All right, it is uploaded. It is
up. It'd be like taking your children to work.
All right, it is uploaded right now. It is scheduled for 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, like I was playing on it. But a nice, relaxing sit down and watch after people get done with stuff. I figure 8:30 is a good,
Hey, Sparky.
Point. What?
Spy Family isn't up yet.
Do you even know what channel it's coming out on?
No, I have no idea.
He's yanking his chain as usual. I thought the missus did that, but apparently, Vlad has a good ability to yank your chain.
Vlad only lives 2 hours away from me.
I know. He probably comes with a loop and everything. I mean, seriously.
Gay.
It's yeah, no, this month's been kind of a bad month.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well, alright, so it starts off with KG coming down for a visit. And it was fun.
The KGB.
No,
KG.
KG as in Killer
Killer
Groove.
Oh, sorry. I actually honestly thought you said
No.
KG. I was like, that would be a bad month.
A dysfunctional Russian organization comes knocking at your door. KGB.
That would be a bad month, yeah. No, KG come down. He's moving somebody in with him. And he flew down to Kentucky and then took a budget truck from Kentucky all the way back up to Washington. And he made a detour and stayed down here for about 3 days. And we visited, hung out, and did different things. Yeah, I planned for it. I just spent a little too much money that I was not really planning on spending. And the amount of driving I did, in the 3 days he was down here, I drove about 700 miles.
Wow.
Because of where he was staying at. Because where he was staying at was about an hour and a half from my house.
But you couldn't up that up by another 300 miles, and that way you can have at least 1,000 miles?
Well, alright, so you don't get it. So, my truck is not the most fuel efficient. It is a V6 Explorer 1998. Thing's got a 20-gallon gas tank. And I could probably go 300 and... Yeah, I can go about 320, 340 miles on one tank of gas. Unfortunately, to fill that Explorer up from empty is about $80 right now. So I had to make 4 fill-ups. So that was about $150 to about $250 right there, just in fuel, and then money because I covered a lot of stuff for him because my treat. He's down here visiting me. It's the right thing to do. So at the end of the day, I was planning on spending about maybe $300. I ended up spending like $500 to $600.
Yeah, that's usually
so I went over my budget. And because of that, that's fine. I'll pull back on some things, and the next paycheck should be able to cover it. Well, that didn't quite happen because with that, I also had to pay for this lovely little iPhone I bought.
Yes,
that was $300.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
That was $300. Along with that, the next payday that came around included the days I took off from work, which the PTO time messed up, and I didn't get my full amount. I'm going to be getting the full amount, but it didn't transcribe on the paycheck. So my paycheck I got was already like $400 short of what it was supposed to be. And then, bills and other things like that. So I'm sitting here right now, like, on a fine line after filling my truck up, everything like that. Right now, and it's not even filled up, like, partially filled up. I've got $50 to last me until Friday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is doable.
Well, it's doable. It's just, I don't like being in that kind of a situation. I don't like being in that spot.
No, I get it. No, I was kind of leaning towards that. You're one of those kind of guys that would roll 500 miles and then 500 more, and then to be a man who rolls 1,000 miles and fall out on your door, that kind of stuff. I was thinking on that kind of terminology, but you just kind of ran over it as usual.
Yeah, but no, it's. I usually try to set it up to where I'll have about $300 or $400 left from paycheck to paycheck. So, and that's kind of my threshold I like to be at.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks I have not been on that threshold. I have been like in the negative $300 to $400.
Yeah.
So that's that's, and because of that, it's thrown everything off. So I've been sitting here. I usually have side projects I can do besides from work. But the problem is the side projects are friends I know that have trucks and heavy equipment, and I'll usually go down. There's about 4 or 5 people I do stuff for. So, and I go on like a rotation base. Like 1 week I'll go to this place, the other week I'll go to this place, and this week I'll go to this place. And I basically just I'll go through and check the equipment over, grease it, make sure it's all good. Does anything that needs repair, write it down. Say if they want to get fixed, if we get parts for it, fix it, all that other good stuff. I charge about $60 an hour, which is significantly cheaper than what any other place. And if you take it to, they come down with charge.
Yeah.
It's just for the fact that fuel is so crazy fucking expensive for diesel.
No.
All the people I go to do this work for have pulled back and just letting the maintenance slide for right now, just so they can put fuel in the vehicles.
You know, I get it. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not like, you know, up here in Canada, fuel is dirt cheap. It's always been slightly expensive to a point, but in comparative to you and ours, I mean, I get it.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like this, like, so, 2 to 4 hours out there, which is usually what I spend, because they'll have like 4 or 5 pieces of equipment. 2 to 4 hours. That's that's about $250, plus or minus some. A day that they spend on, maintenance on the equipment. If they push back the maintenance and just, it can slide for right now, that's $250, $260 that they can put in the fuel tank that they'll burn up in no time. So.
Oh, we have somebody coming back in again. God damn it.
Is the show still going on? Yeah.
Apparently so. I mean, we were talking about gas.
There's plenty of that here.
Not the
we've only been on
right now.
We've only been on for 2 hours.
I mean, seriously. Normally Sparky hits at that 5-hour mark, and because he has nothing else to do. I mean, seriously.
He went 8 once.
Yeah, I know. And I'm glad I kind of bowed out before that actually happened.
I went 24 hours once.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, I don't want to know that much about your sexcapades. Good.
I went to sleep.
Hey, Vlad, you need to send Gemax that little gem.
You know what? I could just send it to Gemax.
What do I need to do now?
No.
Hey, you just need a watch. You just need a watch.
It's only
we were sent this by good old Vlad, so I'll see if I can actually send you this this lovely thing here.
Yeah, very lovely.
Yes, it's. I think this will actually work.
It's on par with the Blair Witch Project, you know.
No, that didn't work. Yeah, maybe it did. I don't know. Does that link go to? Yeah, that should go to. Works for me. I don't know if it works for you there. Let me know if that works for you, Jim.
I'm interested. I don't have access to the link.
Okay, let me.
I'll send it.
Oh, is that? Well, I mean, yeah.
I downloaded it to my computer.
No, I've got it as well. I just downloaded it to the computer. I can do it that way as well. If you want to send it to him,
you can go ahead and do it. You have better internet than I do.
Yeah, let me give me a moment here while I find it. It is right there. Okay, click there, and then let's do exactly the same thing that I was given and granted. So there you go. Yeah. It's very short. It's very short.
Yeah. It actually gets shorter.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean, up here we're looking at what gas prices currently is what, like $2.30 a liter.
So, where did you find my video for at? I don't remember posting this on the internet. Yeah.
He dropped that lovely piece of knowledge. I'm like, oh, okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah, I saw this a long time ago. I've seen this a long time ago. This is an old video.
Oh, I know, but still,
it looks like it. Like
is,
5 megapixel shit.
Shit, fuck yeah.
But this was like 2005, I think, 2006.
Probably. I mean, early 2000s, definitely.
When shit was edgy.
I mean, we were watching shit getting run over and that.
I mean, we were watching people throw dogs in fucking fires and shit. I mean,
yeah.
Well, they were like, yeah, we've seen some horrible fucking shit on the internet. Honestly,
yeah, when the internet, what was allowed to be the internet, yeah, we got to
back
see
in
everything before it became dark.
You know, today the internet is now pussified. We'll just say compared to back in the day.
There's the dark web that's still. And I put that in air quotes. Dark web. That still has all this beautiful shit available. So if you want to, you can go find it. It's not hard.
No,
but,
it's not.
No. But nowadays they've
Tor browser.
Yeah, pretty much. Nowadays they pretty much did the same thing as they did with schools in general. Threw up the participation award ribbons, let Karens take over that portion of the world, and said that our children are special and should not have to witness this kind of atrocities. And unfortunately,
they didn't want it to be their job, so
yeah,
they didn't have to. They didn't have to enforce it, so yeah.
So
unfortunately, though, it's going back the other way, and everybody's like, "Yeah."
Unfortunately, their children are the ones that are now doing this in real life and saying that a man is a woman,
regardless of how they were raised.
Yeah.
They're doing this shit, and
fuck yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Shit's going to go weird no matter what. You can't stop it.
But again, I find it funny there, Jem, that the Generation X pretty much have cobbled together this thing called the Internet, World Wide Web, handing it over to the next generation. The parents that got involved were pretty much soccer moms to recouple it together to fit their ideology and belief systems. And now we have a very low-level tier internet that was pretty much figure it out yourself. If you happen to get into a weird, scary site, well, then it's all on you.
Yeah. I remember the days. The good old days.
Yeah, well, I mean, accountability was a thing. Yes, accountability was a thing. Trust me, all you had to do was get the right web location for a lot of the questionable moments in history. You can watch people get run over by tanks and enough films galore. Fuck, that was a weird generational time frame.
So I'm finally triggering people on Twitter. I've had no ability to do that for a while.
Oh, congratulations.
No. For the longest time, it wasn't a thing because nobody saw your shit. And slowly but surely, people are starting to see people's shit again because everybody's coming back and everybody wants to see. And then I must say, hey, here.
Yeah, it is a coincidence that certain blacklistings and cyber banning and shadow banning of certain accounts to make sure they don't get certain attraction.
Honestly, I've been happy since I got banned back off again. So,
so the thing is somebody made the statement that the anti-gay ideology is killing kids or whatever. And then I thought they meant murder, so I misinterpreted that. But I said nobody's dying from some anti-gay ideology. Somebody sent me some article that's probably from CNN that said 44% of LGBTQ LMNOP have suicidal thoughts or something. And then I wrote, oh, so they're just offing themselves. Geez, I suddenly care even less. And then they asked me if I was 13 and that where's my empathy at? And then I wrote suicide equals Darwin Award.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, that particular level of self-loathing has been around for a very long time. Hasn't changed. If anything, the numbers have been slowly growing since we've been finding out that there's more transsexuals out there, or people who identify as something other than male and female. Those numbers seem to be going up. Kind of weird how the correlation of that one is unique in any fashion. But no, realistically speaking, anybody who is trans or within the trans community, they have the highest level of suicide rate than any other with any form of the LGBT community, before you add in the hyphenated alphabet that goes with it. Why? Because of the gender dysphoria. Pretty easy. It was considered a medical issue for a reason. It's before, a bunch of parents decided to get involved and said, well, my child is special.
My child's not fucked up in the head and doesn't need, massive amounts of drugs and therapy. I know better than the rest of you.
Correct.
Who have had, 20 years of fucking degrees.
Yeah.
I
can self-diagnose anybody without having to have, the amount of degrees that you do. All I have to do is punch in my symptoms into the interweb, and it tells me exactly what kind of issues I might have, or that I do have. So, I mean, yeah, we've been coddling a lot of people going forward. No one wants to take the responsibility. For the most part.
I wish WebMD would tell these people who have ginger, instead of telling them, oh, you have ginger dysphoria, oh, you have cancer, you're going to die.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, my personal favorite is anybody who's a huge trans advocate to have trans women athletes compete against other women are no more better than the MRA. Think about that one.
Yeah. Did you hear about... how they're going the other way now with that, and the NCAA or the
NAACP. Yep.
Look. The group of talking heads that mostly are color have decided to go in a different direction. Yes, I know.
The NCAA is like, yeah, we're going to stop this. We're going to stop this.
Look, the filming industry is also kind of getting to that conclusion. Going, you know what? The time to stop. We're not making any money.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that the current high-profile transgender woman didn't do something weird in the women's locker room. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that.
Doesn't. Look, I always find it funny that male athletes who are competing against other male athletes and do poorly and decide to transition by just simply growing their hair long and then saying, well, I identify as a woman, with no actual going through the whole process of actual transitioning, even if they decide to go on a steroid-based blockers or testosterone blockers and that. It doesn't change the factor that they've already are going to clock any woman's speed record very quickly.
No. Oh, yeah.
Because again, they already have a physical advantage going forward.
I mean, the only advantage here was the thing. They took a study from a guy who got, 6th place in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Who took the spot of an actual person who was a better lifter than her, which was funny. And they said, see, not all men can beat all women. And it's like, yeah, that guy wasn't your peak. That wasn't your peak performer.
So it really depends. So like in so much as I've read a lot of results of a lot of this Olympic shit.
Yeah.
And I've noticed if for example running, if you take a 6th or I think it's 5th place winner in men's division, transition him to female and put him in women's division, he could lose a good 10-15% of his ability as a 5th place player. And then still beat the shit out of the entire women's division without.
Oh yeah.
But we'll actually do you one better. We'll take a person who placed 436 or 63rd in swimming, and then places in 3 different events. First, 3rd, and 6th in 3 different events.
Yeah,
and that might have actually been because they were limiting themselves intentionally.
Yeah, and that's questionable. But again, it comes back down to men at any early stages already have an advantage once they get to peak puberty. So right there,
women, if you wanted to if people wanted to really honestly test this out, all right, they would pick prepubescent men versus prepubescent girls.
Yes.
Or boys and girls. The girls would win. in a lot of those circumstances. Once puberty comes in the equation for men, it's like giving them fucking meth and steroids.
Yeah.
Like out of fucking nowhere. Like the dramatic difference is insane.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing in basic education for the most part. Women, girls tend to do better than boys in all forms of testing, all the way up until puberty hits. Once puberty hits, then all of a sudden they go off like a rocket, and boys succeed in every level that a woman at girls that used to dominate. So it's something genetically innate within our species, well, species in general, that males are going to dominate over females. Does that is that a factor always? No, sometimes there's exceptions to the rule. The majority of the time, men do better than women in just about every area.
Although I guarantee you, all of us here would get our ass kicked by cheater crew.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not even going to deny that.
Look,
but we're not athletes.
Hang on. Even if some of us might be an athlete, we would probably do it willingly, regardless of the factor, because who doesn't want to be beaten by a woman?
That's true. I did get married.
There you go.
I did get married. Yes. Rug has a point there. He does have a point.
Men do put themselves in unique precarious situations if they want to gather the attention of the woman of their choice. Yeah.
Just like what really bothers me the most too is that argument that people unironically do use, where they'll say, men are not always better than women. I mean, look at you. You're fat. You couldn't beat these female athletes. It's like, yeah, but I'm not an athlete. I wasn't in this sport almost the entirety of my formative years, from like fucking elementary school through high school through college and into the Olympics. Like, that is a level of shit I'll never compete with, right? Correct. So it's like whenever people, same thing with MMA, right? You could, if you would lose for the most part to the majority of people who have been in martial arts from like grade school, if you just came in after high school. Like the level of experience gap there is pretty wide. Or I shouldn't say if you came in after high school, sorry, I meant to say college, but if you came in...
It will vary on person to person. There are some.
There are natural.
I know there are some natural. Like for example, there was what was it? One of the leading female boxers who decided, or who somehow okayed this idea, this brilliant idea of boxing an average guy in the ring. The average guy clocked her.
Well,
she went down like a ton of bricks.
I meant versus my own gender. Sorry.
No, but I understand that. But again, we do have variances of the rule, and this is why we have to kind of look at it from case to case scenario for the most part, if we're going to be honest.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, if I wasn't 30, right? You know, let's say I just came out of college. I went into MMA classes for like, I don't know, a decade, and then went into MMA. I would stand so much less of a chance against the people that not only have been doing it since grade school, but have been in the MMA longer than I have.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair enough. That does happen. I mean, look, we could take somebody like Brock Lesnar for example, big brute of a guy who, for amateur wrestling, was an award winner for the most part for his level. Him going from that to questionable entertainment of wrestling into MMA. Yeah, he got beaten the first couple of rounds, but over time, with enough training and experience, over time, he became one of the leaders for the mixed martial art division. So it does happen. You just it's like, again, it's case by case scenario.
But he's such a giant person.
No, I know. He's a giant specimen of a man. But again, it does vary. So it's like we'll take another one like Charles was it Philip
Charles
Brook.
Manson?
No, Philip Brook, CM Punk, who did exactly the same thing. Thinner, got himself out of the professional wrestling industry that he was notoriously for. Got himself into mixed martial arts. And he ranks one of the lowest in his division.
He lost every fight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he lost every fight bad.
Yes,
I mean, it wasn't like he lost. He lost
he lost
bad.
badly. So, and again, he did the same level of training as somebody like Brock Lesnar. Problem is, when you have that, you have a different case scenario. You have a monster of a man versus an average man. You have age differences going into play here because one got in there a bit earlier than the other. Brooks was doing it to see if he'd be able to transition into that area because some of his own peers within his art form of entertainment got into that.
Yeah, but a lot of them, the ones that went into that art had come out of that.
Yeah, I know.
And
some came out with a good career, others did not. So it's like,
dude, I was one of the very few people that said CM Punk was going to get stomped, and all of his fanboys, including my own friends, were like, "No, man, he was in WWE forever. He's athletic." I'm like, "That's not. That doesn't no."
It is athletic, but not the style of athletic you want a person to be.
Imagine being a cheerleader for 20 years and then going into boxing.
And then going into to be a boxer.
Here's the thing with CM and Punk: when the second he said he was whatever his fucking name was,
CM Punk,
whoever the Punk, he got punked and he got his ass when he said, "I shit myself in the ring." I was like, "I'm going to WWE." I was like, "Oh." Yeah, see, your first mistake was to admit you shit yourself in the ring. That was your first mistake, and the second your second mistake was saying that, and then go say you're going into MMA, and all the MMA people was like, "Oh yeah, this person's the guy who shit himself. He's gonna be easy to beat."
Pretty much. I mean,
now could CM Punk?
Yeah, CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Just call him Punk. Just call him Punk, please. Just call him Punk. Brooks.
The Punk, could he kick my ass? Probably, because I'm crippled now.
Yeah. I mean, but again, that comes back down to situations here.
Give me back 20 years. Give me back about 10 years ago.
Also, Punk is a vegan.
Yeah, that's another factor there.
Wait a minute. He's a vegan?
Yeah, he became a vegan for a while.
Still is.
Yeah,
he I would kick his ass now.
Yeah, no, I heard he got back into the meat eating game since he transitioned. Yeah.
If he was still a vegan, I would give my odds against him better.
But he was a vegan for a long time, like over a decade.
Yeah, no, he was straight. He is considered straight edge, so he's. I know. Daniel Bryan, he's a vegan. That's another dude but. As for CM Punk, I think the only reason why he went into vegan was for to make sure that he was able to maintain his weight, and it was more of a dietarial thing. Now,
I thought I thought he was going absolutist with the straight edge thing. That's what I thought it was.
Here's the thing.
It is possible.
Here's the thing with vegans: you have Hollywood vegan and you have real vegan, who is true vegan. They're two different things.
Yeah, because we know that he went vegan in 2012, but I know for sure that he got out of it because he was on the road constantly. So there was no way for him to be vegan straightforward. It's the same thing because that's a lot of
so he showed his van. There's a video, I need to find it, but there was a video where it wasn't a van, it was a mobile vehicle, what he was going on the road with. And he actually showed all of his food shit. And it was vegan shit. He had all these and he still drank coffee. Which is weirding me out because he's supposed to be straight edge and you're taking drugs.
It's caffeine. That's what I mean. It's like he has his weird mental gymnastic when it comes to what's considered straight edge. So it's like, okay, dude. Same thing with vegans. It's like, is he a proper what's considered hardcore vegan? Is he a lot, milk toast who just eats maybe cheese and eggs?
He was saying absolutely no meat whatsoever. So
it comes back down to I do know that after a while he gave that up because of the factor that unfortunately it is kind of hard to find, especially if you're going from place to place, as well as vegan food does not keep well.
Also, can you imagine trying to find vegan food during COVID?
Yes. Well, I mean, technically, probably easier in certain areas because no one bought that fucker.
No, there are people. I remember when vegan used to be the only meat you would eat was fish. So
yeah, and that changed over time.
Well, so people called that vegan. It was, or they called that vegetarian, and then they called it vegan. It went back and forth. It was so dumb.
Yeah, no.
Like that's back to what you said about celebrity vegan. So,
yeah, celebrity vegan and real vegan are two different things. Celebrities still claim, "Oh, I'm a vegan," and then you find out, well, they eat cheese and milk and sometimes fish, and then you're like, "That's not a vegan. A vegan is." Everything's a vegetable, but they love the suffering of the vegetables for some reason. You know, I don't know.
But I do know that Daniel Bryant is the true vegan out of that wrestling community. He bleeds vegetables. That fucker.
And now these fucking say you can eat bugs. I said, well, that technically would make you a non-vegan then. So
yeah,
you're eating protein of sorts that is from a living creature organism. So honestly, the whole vegan idea, you know,
it looks great on paper, but in true practice for an omnivore like ourselves, it doesn't.
We cannot. I mean, some people can, but they tend to live horrible lives of sickness.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind that they can only be vegan based off the supplements that they throw into their body,
which come from actual cows anyways and shit like that. So
so it's like
that's what I find hilarious. Well, I take supplements. I'm like, you're still eating a cow. And they're like, well, the supplements aren't from a cow. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
that's actually where that's
derived from that. So that's how we know what you need.
So there is no such thing as a true vegan. They actually are eating cows. They just don't want to admit it.
So I mean, like I said, there's that level of insanity that goes
Sparky's
beyond.
Over here passing out.
Well, that's normal because keep in mind he did do a lot of gardening, but
he chose to do this.
Yes,
he chose this. Yes, this is his punishment. Self-punishment.
I mean, I have to do that every summer. It's pain.
Well, I mean, also since you're not part of that tribal, instinct of putting up a teepee and moving it from place to place, there's that.
There's still buffalo down there?
Well, if Sparky's around now.
Actually, there is.
Oh, you haven't killed them off yet? Okay, congratulations.
No, we haven't killed them off yet.
No, that's a combination of the two. But no.
My people were more successful at it.
Yeah, I know.
So, his response to the Darwin Award statement, like suicide equals Darwin Award, was he said, I'm sure you're the perfect specimen of evolutionary human development. And I said, I am, thank you.
Okay.
I am, thank you. How'd you know?
I mean, if you're able to type with a response, then you are.
Yeah, I am the pinnacle of all human evolution. Thank you. That's what I would say. How'd you know?
Your survival rate is pretty high. I mean, realistically,
this is why I got banned from Twitter so quickly.
I mean, I always find it fascinating when people kind of try to dispute the whole idea of Darwinism. It's like, dude, there's a reason why it's a Darwinism award-winning individuals that exist.
I mean, Darwinism isn't perfect, but it's up there. It's up there.
It is. I mean, look, survival of the fittest. That makes sense. And if you're not fit enough to survive, well, guess what? You're eliminated from the.
Do you know what the most fit species on the planet is?
I'm gonna say a dolphin because they're fucking assholes.
I'm gonna say the tardigrade because they have survived everything.
True. It is.
They have literally survived everything.
Oh yeah, no, it's true. But dolphins are assholes.
Yeah, dolphins are close second.
They're just assholes. I mean, I'm surprised that they're not completely related to Vlad most of the time. I mean, seriously, that he might be an evolved version of a dolphin sometimes. I just kind of feel that's
right. Except I can't swim as well.
That's why I said evolve. But you're still a prick every now and then. You probably find that puffer fish.
Actually, I love dolphins.
I know.
Right.
I kind of figured.
I will say this much: I am cutting the stream off now. yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. I'm tired. I'm gonna get some.
No shit, you're tired. We can see that you're tired. That's
Yeah.
why we've been abusing you.
Well,
even
all you did was ride on a riding lawnmower for like an hour. What's the big deal?
and contemplate where to put the TV.
And really, and made a flower bed, and then chainsaw some
drank a lot of beer.
logs, and pulled reeds.
Yeah.
I've done a lot more
so-
than just ride on a riding lawnmower.
I'm failing to see the problem here.
No, all I can, what I can picture is that he has the lawnmower like on a string attached to a tree, so it's always turning left. So
Do you have a wood stove?
No, I have a pellet stove.
Okay, because like, see, like in order to not die in the winter, I have to like cut trees down and split wood and shit.
Wow. So you're that kind of Western. My God.
All right.
I have to end while wearing plaid.
Jesus fucking Christ! You're that evil white.
Okay. Anyways, done with the stream. See you, everyone. Please like, subscribe, check out STC Watch Club, and all that other good stuff. Take care, everyone.